Something's angry.
Hello again, I am Blunty, and a couple of days ago I put up a video about the performance issues Wild Hearts was facing on PC. I spoke of the developer admitting the issue was the game just not using CPU multi-threading properly, and that a fix was on the way this week. Well, now we're here, smack bang in the middle of the week they promised the patch, and it's here. So that's, one half of their promise fulfilled at least. It also has some performance issues on console, of course, but patches are faster and easier to push out on PC because it doesn't have to go through Microsoft and PlayStation for approval and whatnot. So, you console players, don't get your panties in a twist just yet. Your patches are still coming. We'll talk about that a little more near the end of the video because... So, does the patch actually work as promised? What about that second half of the promise, the rather more important part of the promise, where they said, well, in their own words, when first announcing the impending arrival of this patch, a CPU threading issue has been fixed. We are seeing significantly improved performance on high-end PCs. Now, in this context of gaming, high-end PCs would, at least to me, be any gaming rig with a recent CPU with at least a 6-core 12-thread arrangement, which, measured against the most recent Steam hardware survey, would put them in the top 20% of PC gamers. I feel like that counts as high-end, don't you? That's a fair enough line in the sand to draw with these words, right? Well, with today's patch, Wolfhands, one of the community managers, posted the following, and I'll caveat this with the context of the fact I have had several interactions directly with Wolfhands, and to put it bluntly, he is not someone I trust. He is a bit full of shit, actually. Something that people on the Reddit are already calling him out on because the only responses he will give are things to people saying good things about this patch, and he hasn't responded to a single person having a bad issue about this patch. So anyway, his words. Good news, hunters. I don't know why I'm doing this voice for Wolfhands, I just am. A patch has just been deployed to PC today that addresses the following issues, including fixes to address frame rate performance. Fixed an issue where certain high-end CPUs were being unintentionally capped. High-end PCs should see some performance improvements now. Fixed an issue where some sounds were not playing or were being delayed, causing audio to stack. This audio stacking issue was causing strain on players' CPU. As a result of this fix, players should see performance improvements across the board. The workaround using 5.1.7.1 audio is no longer necessary on PC. That second bit is pretty interesting to me, as I personally debunked that in my own testing 2 days ago when people suggested it as a fix for performance. Which, turns out the story is, if the audio bug was triggered, then it would affect performance, but that audio bug was quite rare. In 100 hours of play, I hit it exactly 3 times, which I reported to the team, and in none of these 3 times did I actually see it affect performance, actually. It only messed up audio, so all this is really weird to me. It just speaks to some really wild inconsistencies in their game engine, I think. Among the other things the patch does is change the default resolution when you first install the game. It seems they fixed an issue with a few AMD GPUs that they were hitting, where it would cause big, bright, large square artifacts to appear on their screen like a disco ball. And I've seen reports in the Reddit thread that this actually has properly fixed this issue for them. So if you're an AMD user, time to give the game another go, I guess. But of course, the part we are most interested in is the part that had significantly affected pretty much the entire player base. Fixing those other bugs is nice, yep, sure, no worries. But the performance thing is the difference between playable and unplayable for at least some people. And for anybody else, it was anywhere between disappointing and genuinely disruptive. So, after an agonizingly long download, seriously, what the actual hell is wrong with EA's servers? Oh my god. So I got my copy of Wild Hearts as a review preview, which means I had to use the damn EA app. It used to be Origin. And man, it has garbage download speeds. Like fractionally of what my connection is capable of. Tiny fraction. And then I hit an issue where the game just kept insisting that it needed an update. The same update I literally just installed seconds ago. And when I hit the button, it'd do a thing for a few seconds, and I think, oh, well, it's just installing a few extra bits. And then it would insist again that it still needed the update. And that went on in an endless loop. I had to actually restart the entire EA app to fix it. What a pile of garbage. I mean, it's slightly better than the old Origin app, because, the interface is cleaner and tidier, I guess, but Man, it is still an EA burning trash fire of an app. I just wish Koei, Tecmo, and Omega Force had partnered with anybody. Well, maybe not anybody else. Maybe not, Activision Blizzard, because, oh, Christ. But, almost anybody else out there except for EA to publish this damn thing. Oh, my God. EA is... Anyway, turns out the patch did exactly nothing to my performance. Are you shocked? In fact, if anything, it made it slightly worse. Where once I was getting 40 to 60 FPS, now in gameplay and in combat, I'm not seeing it crack 50 FPS even. I've lost 5 to 7 FPS basically. And it's true that my CPU usage has indeed gone up by about 10% or so. And that number is an average across all 24 threads of my 12-core 3900X, so the patch has indeed clearly made the game slightly better at taking advantage of multi-threading at least. But, unlike their promise, in exactly 0 ways has it made my performance better. Certainly not significantly better, like they said. Those were their words, significantly better. Yeah, in fact, it's made it slightly worse for me. And once again, it's irrelevant what graphic settings I change or even what resolution I try. High settings, medium settings, 4K, 1440p, 1080p. The performance is basically identical, which means there is still a bottleneck. And the patch has not fixed it even slightly. And I am far from alone. While there is 2 or 3 people on the Reddit thread for this patch reporting that it has improved things for them, anywhere from slightly to significantly. One guy was like, oh, I'm getting an extra 20 FPS now, hooray! Good for that guy, but there are dozens more reporting what my experience has been. Exactly 0 difference at all, and in fact in some cases it's made performance worse. In some cases much worse than my worse. Or triggered some slowdown bugs for other people, and others still can't even launch their friggin' game anymore. The patch has just broken their ability to start the game. Isn't that fantastic? Omega Force, the developers, have a, let's say, muddy reputation when it comes to optimizing their games, especially so on PC, and I'm seeing that across the years they have learned nothing. They've learned nothing. The game itself is frankly superb. As I said in my original review, it's a match or better for the best of Monster Hunter in many ways, and lags behind in some others, but overall a truly terrific game experience. But this performance crap, especially on a game that looks like this, which, let's be honest here, let's face it, isn't exactly pushing new boundaries in graphics, is it? But still, the in-house game engine that Omega Force and Koei Tecmo use, a proprietary engine called the Katana engine, which they trademarked not all that long ago in mid-2021, is very clearly not done cooking yet, or is actually just crap from the bones up. Considering that Wild Hearts has been said to be in development for 4 years and the Katana engine is just under 2 years old, well, let's just say there are some easy guesses we can make about the development process here. At the end of the day, I've now lost a lot of confidence in Omega Force's ability to actually fix the performance issues in a timely manner, if at all. And certainly I can no longer take them at their word. As I alluded to earlier, my trust has already been broken with the EA community management team. A big shock, EA is full of bullshit. And now we know anything the devs say can't be taken at face value. The overwhelming number of people reporting this patch does nothing to fix their performance issues as promised, or even makes things worse, indicates at the very least that Koei Tecmo and Omega Force's in-house testing process is, for this kind of thing, far too narrow, not good enough. I will still sing the praises of this game on its own merits as a game, on its gameplay merits, because I genuinely enjoy it a lot. But from here on in, the devs and the community managers do not get even one scrap, not one particle of my personal stock of benefit of the doubt. That bridge is burned. And I feel like I've been pretty generous to this point on that score, even just a couple of days ago when discussing the then still incoming promises and patch. This experience has soured that completely. They can't be trusted anymore. You can't take them at their word. From this point on, it is show, don't tell, and nothing is true until it is shown, until it is in the hands of the gamers. And that is really disappointing because, again, I really like this game. So to be this soured on any interaction with the community management team or the devs themselves, to have trust broken this severely, this early on in the game, is frankly quite disappointing. Hardly unheard of in this industry, but still disappointing. I like to have hope. I like to enjoy things. Anyway, let me know down below what your experience has been so far with this patch. If you're on PC, what hardware you're running, what were you doing before, what are you doing now performance-wise? If you're on console, I don't know, the patch is coming. I wouldn't hold your breath on them delivering on their promises for the patch, though, as indicated by PC players' experiences today. Yeah, don't hold your breath, don't cross your fingers. You get what you get. We'll see what happens, I suppose. Anyway, thanks for watching. I am Lunty. Thank you as always to the patrons scrolling up above there, and we'll catch you next time.